So Kevin Weeks ended up dropping an absolute bomb of news on Monday morning, basically saying that Igor Shesterkin, the New York Rangers starting goaltender, the star goalie, Igor Shesterkin, has rejected an offer from the New York Rangers of a whopping $88 million over 8 years, meaning an 8-year deal worth $11 million per season. That is insane. Igor rejected that offer, $11 million per season on an 8-year deal. That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I did try and give myself, a good bit of time here to really kind of gather my thoughts on kind of really truly what this is. What is happening here with the Rangers and Igor here. I'm really trying to wrap my head around it and what Igor could possibly, honestly, realistically want from the Rangers. You take a look at his numbers. I'm not going to dive too deep into them right now, but they're good. They're very good numbers, yes. And the regular season, though, they actually have not been as elite as you would think from a guy who is rejecting $11 million per season. Is Igor Shesterkin an elite goaltender in the playoffs? Yes. And if you watch the channel for a while now, I repeated that 100 times over throughout that playoff run there. Igor is truly an elite playoff performer. That is the absolute most truth about Igor. He performs when the lights shine brightest, yes. But is his overall value and the goalie position, when you take that into effect as well, and what the contracts have just been given out to a guy like Jeremy Swayman, who is 3 years younger than Igor, and not terribly far off of, I would say, as good as Igor is, and with him making about $3 million less per season while being 3 years younger and not too much worse. To me, I really just don't see what Igor realistically wants from the Rangers. Now, is this a move to really kind of force the Rangers' hand into really kind of pushing up that check there towards him and to really kind of push the Rangers towards that kind of 12 mil mark now and to really kind of scrape out as much money as he can to really get every single dollar possible? Maybe this is what he's going to do here and he really wants to get every single dollar possible, but you got to remember, if the Rangers end up paying Igor Shesterkin over $11 million. We're saying 11.25 or 11.5 or 12 mil even, because I really don't want to get that high. But if we see Igor get that much money, this team will truly be in cap hell. This team already is not in a good cap situation right now as things stand currently. But if you go out there and give a guy like Igor Shesterkin, a guy who, yes, has been pretty much carrying this team for the most part throughout these kind of playoff runs. We've been to, two of the last Eastern Conference Finals. He's really kind of carried this team along quite a bit through those playoff runs. But if you give a guy like that much money there, this team is really not going to be in a good spot cap-wise to really go out there and make other moves as well, especially when you do consider a guy like Alexis Lafreniere is an RFA next offseason, meaning he's going to need a new deal, and he's going to get, I would probably imagine, quite a few more $1 million than what he's making right now. His current contract is, 1 year left with a $2.325 million deal. So that's not bad. They're just around $2.3 million, but presumably he's going to have a pretty solid year and he's going to make at least, I would guess, $6-7 million, something around there. So you're probably looking on the low end of adding on, about $4 million or so for just Lafreniere alone. And then you're possibly adding on another $7 million almost to what Igor's contract is currently. Like, this is where things truly just get insane, and it doesn't make a lot of sense here where Igor is wanting this much money. Now, he's probably not going to get, 12.6 exactly, but you know what I mean? Like, if it truly wants and is going to get over $11 million, that is just such a massive cap hit. You count in Lafreniere's deal, and this team is not going to have any money to go out there and really add to this team and really try and make this team a whole lot better. And yes, guys like Trouba come off the books, in 2 seasons, this year, one more after that, and Panarin comes off the books soon too. Yes, I get that. But when you take a look at the other contracts around the league, especially goalie-wise, this deal would just not be the greatest value-wise, and it just seems like he's possibly going to get overpaid by quite a bit from the Rangers. Now, does he end up coming back around here and end up accepting a deal around $11 million per season? Hopefully. At this point, hopefully. But even that $11 million per season is kind of on the edge of really where I kind of would almost want to kind of stop and not really want to pay him that much, because it is so much money to pay a goaltender in the NHL. That much money. You take a look. The Sergei Bobrovsky and the Florida Panthers were finally the first team to win a Stanley Cup with, that massive contract of a goaltender, being that 10 mil mark or above. They finally did it there with Sergei Bobrovsky this past season. So a team with a goalie making 8 digits, has won a cup, but it's obviously not happened a lot. It's happened pretty much once. So it's really not a great spot for the Rangers to be in. I know the cap's going to go up a lot in the coming years, and I'm sure that's part of what Igor, I'm sure, is kind of, talking about with the Rangers here, basically saying, cap's going to go up a lot here, so I deserve this much money. I'm the best goalie in the league. I want to reset the market and all that good stuff. And yes, I think he is, arguably the best goalie in the league, especially when it comes to the playoffs. But in the regular season, he has not shown that he is the best goaltender in the league. The last couple of seasons, he has that Vezina year, yes. But other than that Vezina year, he has not proven to be the best goalie consistently in the regular season. Now, in the playoffs, over the last 3 seasons or so, in the playoffs, yes, you can say he has been the clear best. But overall, as a regular season and in the playoffs, even then, you might be able to argue a couple of the guys as well right around there and right beside him as well, or at least about equal kind of levels of talent as well. And you take a look at their contracts, Bobrovsky, he's making $10 million. Andre Vasilevsky, 9.5, Hellebuck, 8.5, Sorokin, and Swayman, 8.25, and Swayman, just signed his deal. And I did just post a video yesterday actually talking about the Swayman deal happening and how it could and should affect what Igor gets paid here, but obviously Igor thinks it shouldn't matter at all, and he is a by far miles better goaltender than a guy like Jeremy Swayman. And that pretty much is what Igor is saying, as Swayman signed a deal of $8.25 million per season on an 8-year deal, and Igor rejects a deal of 8 years, so the same years, but an extra almost $3 million per season. An extra $2.75 million per season is a lot of money. Cap-wise, having an extra $2.75 million cap-wise is a very, very big chunk of money for any team, especially if you're trying to win a cup like the Rangers are. So Igor, making that much more money than a guy like Jeremy Swayman, and him rejecting that deal. So basically he's saying he wants, more than $2.75 million per season more than what Swayman's getting right now. I think it's ridiculous, and I really do hope Igor comes around and starts being a little more realistic here, because he's not, 20 million miles better than the next goalie in the NHL. He's just not. I mean, is Igor one of the top guys, and you could argue he's the best? I think so, especially when he gets to playoff time, but let's be honest here. It's not some insane gap between all goaltenders in this league. There's a lot of guys who are in that kind of top 3, top 5, top 6, top 7 kind of range, and I really don't think Igor is, worth $4 million more than a guy like Jeremy Swayman. I just don't see that. So hopefully Igor comes around here. He rejected an absolutely massive offer. If we win a cup, does that change things? Possibly, but obviously the team's got a long way to go before that. So we'll have to wait and see here. Hopefully I didn't get too scattered off in this video and go off onto too many tangents, but I really just want to kind of talk about this because personally, I think it's just kind of crazy here that Igor rejected this deal. And I get Igor wanting a lot of money. I know he wants to reset the market here, and that's fine and all, but the biggest contract right now, cap-it-wise, among goaltenders in the NHL is the guy who's not even playing, hasn't played for a while now, in Carey Price at 10.5. The second guy is at 10 million, Bobrovsky. So if he wants to reset the market there, I can understand that. If he wants to get, 10.5, let's say, I would say that's quite realistic and fine. I'd be okay with that, but him rejecting 11 mil means he obviously wants more than 11 mil, probably close to that 12 mil mark, which is just absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. But anyways, I really do want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. As Rangers fans, what is your absolute highest you would want and be okay with paying a guy like Igor Shesterkin, who is, yes, one of the top goalies in the entire NHL, but let's be honest here, he's not miles, like 20 million miles better than the next best goalie in the league here. He's just not, and he should not be making, $3-4 million more than the next highest paid goaltender. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next one, and don't forget to subscribe for a ton more New York Rangers content. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next one. See ya.